Last time on Dice Funk.
I have a character called Veltari, who is a tiefling bard. Chaotic evil alignment, which is always fun.
But you know that Count Danto is in hiding and currently trying to engineer a takeover of another town so that he can kind of bring himself back into power. He is like subverting and corrupting other organizations to bring this about, including the Order of the Merciful Sword, which was the order that Rolen Hawklight used to belong to.
Miss Alice! Miss Alice!
These grounds are off limits. Any attempt to trespass again will be met with lethal force.
I can see about talking to Bumbleshoot. I'll send him over as soon as I find him.
I mean, there are a number of ways to communicate with ghosts, but if Tarsus is full of them, and the theft was committed there, there's almost certainly a ghost who witnessed it.
Well, I think I'm going to ask Sylvia to help us with the ghost issue, because while I do have Ganny missions, I want to do them on my terms.
Have you killed Bumbleshoot?
I have no intention of keeping him any longer than he deserves, but he deserves to be here forever.
Bumbleshoot's already gone. I'm now stuck in the city where it always rains.
I look forward to speaking to you again. I actually have something I want to discuss with you, but perhaps reflect on the company you choose to keep, Brother Hawklight?
Rolen, that mirror was heckin' magical. Like, hella magical. Like, it was disconcertingly magical.
What is your spirit animal?
I like the sound of the manticore.
I'm thinking the griffin for Rolen.
What was the deer with wings called?
Periton?
I feel like it's only because I just got super corrosive hands, but I feel a slight inclination towards the rust monster because of that.
Yes!
Patronus from Harry Potter. Persona from Persona. Stans from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Did we just get fucking Stans?
Agree to owe me a favor and I'll tell you what happened.
Okay, I'll owe you a favor. Oh my god.
Do you know someone in town who has a giant dog and a giant cat? Whoever that is, their giant dog can teleport. The dog took the sheath, or at least had the sheath. It teleported inside, teleported back out, now it's got a sheath.
Oh yeah, I know Starbuck. He's a dire blink dog. Rolen makes a terrible pun. What do you do to him?
Cast Wind Wall, which basically is the same thing I used against the skeletons. I'm just gonna try to blast him back with it.
Zoey Legrand gains a level. Someday I will be fancy.
Someday.
One day I will understand what those words that you said meant.
So do you guys want to play Dungeons and Dragons this week, or?
I guess.
If we must.
Don't we just want to do Injustice 2 instead? Why even you ask?
Or go back to sleep.
I feel like we all get very different things from this show. Like, some of us are in it to win, some of us are in it to tell a cool story, and some of us are just here to flirt with imaginary girls.
Who is that directed at?
I think you know damn well.
I don't care what I was here for before. Now I'm here every week because stands are really fucking cool.
Oh my god.
I actively have come up with stand names for everybody now.
I'm afraid yet excited for this.
This is the most passionate I think I'm ever going to be about something in my life.
All right, I'm just going to mute my microphone. You guys talk about your stands for like 10 minutes because there's a lot to go through.
So, for those of you who are listening who don't know what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is, I feel sorry for you, but just to explain it, the stands are usually named after bands or sometimes songs of bands. So, I figure for Rolen, a good option would be like Godsmack. But then I was like, no, hold on. What about Creed? Short, simple, to the point. But then I realized, no, there's a much better option out there. From the classic band Foreigner, your stand, Skitch, Dirty White Boy. You don't have a say in that one, by the way. It's decided for you, I think.
Even if I had a say, I'm not going to have a say when this gets out. So
True.
that's just how it's going to be.
Dora, I was thinking, something a little bit out there. So first I thought Wall of Voodoo, but then I was like, nobody remembers them. So then I was like, ooh, okay, Bone Thugs and Harmony. But then I was like, no, they're not dark enough. So instead, I had it. Welcome to the Black Parade.
13-year-old Lauren has never been more excited for anything.
I have never been more jealous about anything. That is a good name. Yeah.
Well, let's see what Chris has cocked up for you. So
I am ready for this.
Okay, so at first I really just wanted to give you your character names of like various like alt rock bands from the early 2000s, like Finger 11 and Breaking Benjamin, just on the concept that no one really remembers them, so the names themselves are funny. But I was like, no, we can go better than that. So at first I thought like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's a little too hard though. I think we can go somewhere better. And I went back to the Foreigner well again. I was like, Jukebox Hero? Maybe. But then a song came on recently. And I was like, this song's name is perfect for a stand. And this is not derogatory. This is just that awesome of a name. I feel your character stand, Cold Hard Bitch.
I am
Oh my god.
very okay with that.
That is an awesome stand name.
Cold Hard Bitch the Manticore, yes, please.
I swear on my life, I thought you were going to say Hoobastank.
I almost gave you Chumbawamba.
I think I'm happy that we settled where we did.
That's all my contribution for this episode.
But what is your stand's name?
Fatboy Slim. I mentioned it last week. I called Fatboy Slim. If it's not that, it's going to be Susu Studio.
Oh my god.
It's pretty good there. I have to give my vote of approval for Susa Studio.
Skitch, if you're trying to make me ashamed of having something else that's like adding Phil Collins on top of being a Super Saiyan with a stand, this thing is like a Golden Girls reference away from being just pure fan fiction for me at this point.
This is not shaming. I know you're Phil Collins, okay? Your affiliation with that, so I'm just enabling it from my standpoint.
Affiliation.
I appreciate that.
I'll see myself out now.
All right, so do you guys want to actually discuss the like mechanical implications of your spirit animals? I was hesitant to call them that because there are live practiced religions that have that as an element, but we also have angels in here, so yeah. I guess we're just gonna offend everybody. So yeah, like as we alluded to, there's like fictional precursors to these things, including ones where they do kind of represent you more personality wise, and I think that lined up like eerily well because I just pulled some cool monsters out as examples and you guys all picked one and they all actually really fit with your personalities. So I guess A, explain how you think it best represents you, like B, what does it do, and like C, any other cool facts, because I know you guys were all brainstorming them over the week.
Okay, so the stand that I picked or creature was the Rust Monster. It kind of fit Zoe in the notion that Rust Monsters sort of not unconsciously, but regardless of whether or not you're intending to do it, anytime you touch them with something metal, it just corrodes it until destruction, essentially. So there's sort of a double-edged sword to it, but it is also a neutral creature. It's not an evil one. It's not doing this out of malice to like hunt down all the swords of heroes in the world or something like that. It's just what it does is it defends and can't control it. So I kind of fit with Zoe and her uncontrolled wild magic. So the ability I took is that it can not just corrode things by touching them, but it also has antenna that it can use to kind of corrode them from a small distance away. But also innately, because they sort of feed on metal, rust monsters can smell metal and basically track it from 30 feet away.
Yeah, nice. That sounds like a nice applicable thing to have for your character. Hurrah!
You want to go next, Laura?
I'll go next because no one else is going, so I'll go next. For Veltari, having a manticore felt applicable because manticores are basically, they're very spiny, very standoffish, quite aggressive creatures. The parts that I've sort of taken from the manticore to bring into gameplay and, role-playing stuff is mainly the spikes. The spikes are the big thing that I liked about the manticore. we're going with an ability from the Manticore that's basically going to stand in for Hellish Rebuke, which is a ability that I have as a tiefling, but that takes a spell slot to use, which now I can just do it all the time without a spell slot. And it's like, hey, you try and attack me, you're gonna have to do a saving throw where you may get damaged by spikes. I can also just have spikes come up on me now, because I quite like the idea of, like, Veltari as a slightly standoffish character being able to just be like, nope, no touching me right now, there are spikes in the way. The other thing that I think we went for taking from the Manticore was they are typically known to try and intimidate foes into basically like, hey, I won't kill you if there's something in it for me. And the way that we took that and tried to put that into a character ability for Veltari was to, once per short rest, give her the ability to have have advantage on an intimidation check. So, yeah, that is me and my cool new Manticore powers.
To go over the Griffin and how it pertains to Roland, there's a couple of mythological relevance things that kind of tie it well with him. One is because he is sort of multi-faceted when it comes to his beliefs. He believes not in a single deity as sort of the king of one domain, but multiple domains. And Griffins were originally associated as being kings of multiple sets of creatures by being both an eagle and a lion combination. In addition to that, the combination of eagle and lion was meant to denote a combination of intelligence and strength in one, which is a little bit more on the nose for Roland, but it works fairly well in that respect. In terms of D&D mythology, it's a little bit harder to actually make that connection. But in terms of features that the Griffin imparts onto Roland, it's going to be twofold. One, as a passive thing, Roland can just effectively cast the spell Gust at will as the cantrip, depicted by ethereal wings forming behind him and then moving the air around it to induce the effect. And then as a once per long rest event, he can, as a bonus action, invoke the Griffin into himself to the point where he sprouts wings and is able to have a fly speed of 30 feet for 1 minute, after which the wings will fade off and, well, he lands on the ground afterwards. Also, as an additional sort of minor thing, if he is attacking with an unarmed hand at will, he basically evokes the claws or the talons of the Griffin as a claw attack, doing basically the same damage as a longsword, but just as sort of an extra bit of flavor that plays more into, from my standpoint, the sort of the persona angle here, and less so the stand angle.
So, I chose the Periton. His name is Perry Mason. / Welcome to the Black Parade. They're like half eagle, half stag, all spooky all the time. So they're like scary deer eagles that eat hearts. And I was like looking them up, and in some mythology, their shadow would shapeshift depending upon the last heart they ate. So what I chose for Perry Mason is that he can shapeshift his shadow, so I can use it to like trick people. And he can also like detect heartbeats within like nearby range. So I don't know if anyone's sneaking. And like D&D, like the 5e Peritons are like just big birds with scary deer faces. But I like hooves, so he's got hooves. And also talons. Like hooves in the front, talons in the back.
The mullet.
Like a mullet. Yes.
That's the most mythological of mullets.
So that's Perry Mason.
All right, so that was a good way to spend the first quarter of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So where you were when we last left the adventure, after acquiring your new abilities and bonding with these ghosts, you all set off to go speak to Ishmael Blood Mountain and his pets, where you believe the salamander sheath most likely is. And as you go in that direction, you are walking into the most severe part of the growing thunderstorm. Like where you guys were more on the outskirts of it, and it was like lightly raining, and there was flashes of thunder, but like now you're in it, like it's pouring now. And we've discussed before about how this just keeps getting like worse and more violent. And Roland called for an umbrella, and like there was that whole conversation. So like be aware that you guys are getting like in it now.
Dora's feeling her oats. She's having a good time.
I believe Zoe last time had gotten a coat from Alice, so I think she's just trying to bundle up with that and is kind of giving the cloud a weary look, since she knows that she's ultimately the reason for its existence. She hopes it doesn't, like, this is the worst it's going to get and then pass.
I'm still hunkering under the umbrella that Roland gave me last time, and just trying my best to stay out of the rain, just trying to sort of squeeze myself in as tight in as I can under it.
Roland's just standing in the rain, not really caring either way. He can't get sick from it, so it doesn't really matter.
Paladins are very cool.
Veltari's just interested in this group just helped me basically get a stand. I'm gonna have to stick around with them until I can go back to Bumbershoots, so, you know, let's go. Let's do this. Let's go on our adventure.
All right, so as you guys trudge across these fields, which are rapidly getting muddy and bad for the first time probably since any of you have been here, you guys see off in the distance some giants who are attempting to seek shelter. There isn't much in the way of shelter here. They've never thought to erect any kind of fortifications. They've never needed them. And you can't see Ishmael right away, but you do see one of the giants come barreling over to you as you approach, and it is a female fire giant, and she looks very angry, and she basically roars at you. Did you all do this?
What?
Small ones. You have magic, right?
We do.
A little bit. What happened?
What do you mean what happened? Look what you did.
Are you talking about the sky?
The giant is visibly very frustrated with you in particular now, Dora.
Okay.
I turned up in town like 20 minutes ago. Whatever's going on, it's this lot that did it.
I didn't do it. We didn't, skies do wet sometimes. Bye!
Is Dora literally just gonna run away?
No, she's gonna hide behind Roland.
Okay. Fix the sky, insects, or I'll smash you.
If we knew of a way to fix the sky, we would have done so already. Don't
look at me. That one there seemingly can't control her magic. I think she's the...
No!
Am I right that...
Shush!
Am I right that you're the one to blame here? Am I right about this?
I think Zoe's kind of just like head towards the ground, like again, like kind of like scolded child kind of look, and just kind of sheepishly look up and just be like, "Sorry."
Roland just has his arms crossed and just sort of looking up the giant without really breaking.
No, I just have this mental image of Theodora hides behind Roland, Zoe hides behind Roland, Trinity hides behind Roland.
He's like a telephone pole in a Looney Tunes cartoon. For some reason, everything can just hide behind it, no matter how large it is.
Yeah. Winifred floats over, he hides behind Roland. So if you guys narc on Zoe, the fire giant like leans down and like tries to scoop her up.
Roland tries to place himself between the fire giant and Zoe and tries to stand his ground, saying, "If there was a way we could fix this, we would have done so already. Unfortunately, we don't have any answers about that for right now."
How far would you say we are away from the other giants?
I mean, you could see some of them in like the background of this scene, but none that you know.
Okay, they're not close.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could message Ishmael, but if he's not like right there.
Yeah, you don't know where he is right now. I guess persuasion, Roland, to try to tell this fire giant that you can't be of any use.
All right, let's try this. 10 on my persuasion roll.
That's as average as possible. She says, "Maybe you just can't reach it because you're so small. I can lift you up. Would that help?"
I don't think that's how rain works. Ma'am, I don't know what your name is. What's your name?
Lyra. Lyra.
I'm sorry for the moist. We can't control it. Could I appease you with some crabs?
Are You have to be out of crabs by now.
I breed them.
There's so many crabs. Have you thought about how the supply and demand of this? I think you're gonna crash the crab market.
Everyone always need crabs. No one ever has enough crabs.
All crabs all the time.
I guess that's fair. Persuasion.
Okay. All right. Now I have that stuck in my head.
You're welcome.
I rolled a 14, which could be worse.
It could be worse. She says, your crabs aren't very filling. I have to eat like 1 million of them.
Oh.
They're good, but it's like Chinese food, which is a thing that I know exists.
So Zoe's gonna walk up and is actually gonna start speaking to her in giant.
Nice.
And basically just say, Lyra, I'm really sorry that this is happening. Is the rain hurting you, or is there anything I could do to help beyond stopping it? Because I don't know how to.
It's not hurting. It just sucks. It's terrible. We came here to get away from all of the bad stuff about the outside. And now there's ghosts in the sky, and it's raining. It's just bad. Everything's muddy. It's like hard to stand up.
Is there anything I could do to help you out right now?
If you can't fix the sky, then you can go figure out how to fix the sky.
I'll do everything I can.
At this point, I want to try casting Hypnotic Pattern.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right.
So, Hypnotic Pattern, I create a big swirling cube of colourful lights that's like 30 foot big, just floating around in front of this giant, and I believe the giant has to do a wisdom saving throw to avoid getting charmed.
So my favorite thing about this is that it hits everybody, not just the target.
Wait. Is the effect charm?
Yes.
Then nobody that's my ally has to worry about this anyway.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So she creates this giant swirling pattern of hypnotizing magic, and everyone looks at it, and then I guess just Roland's aura of holy helping just snaps them out of it.
Anyone that is an ally within Roland's aura of devotion, which is basically within 10 feet of him, cannot be charmed. Just as an effect line.
Aha, that worked out much better than I expected.
I mean, it would have been very funny for you all to get hypnotized, but yeah, I do like the idea that you all like look up at it, and then Roland just like snaps his fingers, and everyone snaps out of it. And let's see if Lyra the fire giant does. Here comes the saving throw. 13.
That is not enough.
Nope. All right, so I guess Jesus, she gets like cartoon swirly eyes, and she's charmed.
Okay, on we go, team. On we go.
Oh, so you just leave her there?
Yeah, I just want to walk past. Charm's been done.
I'm gonna be like, hey, do you know where Ishmael is?
I think she probably just turns and points over a hill.
Okay, thanks, bye.
She just like waves.
Yeah, cheers, thanks a lot.
Okay, I'm sure that won't come back to bite anyone later.
No, well, we've got an entire minute that she's going to be hypnotized for, so...
Everybody book it!
As long as we move fast, we're good.
I feel like we had started to dissolve things, and when we just escalated them so hard.
I just have no patience for this. You might have been getting there, but it's like, nope, we've got a minute. I made a decision. On we go, team.
All right, so you guys run through the muddy fields in between the fleeing giants who are trying to figure out what they're going to do about the fact that they're slip sliding around like this is an ice rink because it's just a muddy field.
Mm-hmm.
And you're weaving in between them trying to get away before Lyra comes back to her senses. This is a very good mental image I have. And as you guys crest the hill where she pointed that Ishmael is supposed to be near, you guys actually see that the other side of this hill has been hollowed out a little bit. Like, it looks like Ishmael may have just dug into the side with his hands to kind of hollow out an area where he and Pip and Starbuck could kind of escape from the rain, kind of like where the hobbits hang out from under the overhang when the Nazgul go by.
I was waiting to see if I had to take away your nerd card, though, if you couldn't remember the Nazgul's name.
Oh, man, that would have been disastrous for someone who does a D&D podcast.
Everyone knows about them Nazgul.
I'm taking it away, Austin. Now get back to your manticores and fire giants.
Yeah, let me spin this web of high fantasy. Anyway, what are dwarves? So you guys see in this hollow, it looks like Ishmael Blood Mountain, the stone giant, is sleeping. He's just kind of had a hard day's dig, and he's just kind of chilling in this hollow, and curled up like little croissants, or giant croissants really, are the giant cat and giant dog, who are all like nestled together in this little cuddle pile inside the hill.
Ishmael! Hey!
Thunder claps very loudly.
Can you send a message to somebody who's sleeping?
That is a phenomenal question.
I want to wake him up with magic.
Okay, so you can send a message to wake up Ishmael Blood Mountain, but you have to mind shout. It's going to startle him.
Okay.
You're okay with that?
Ishmael, don't be startled. I gotta wake you up.
He cut right through the Gordian knot there, Lauren. He awakens with a little start and like kicks a bunch of dirt around and stuff, but he doesn't, damage any of you. The storm is howling overhead as you guys behold a waking giant.
Good morning. I'm sorry to startle you.
Hey dudes.
Hey. Did I bring crabs?
You can't possibly hold any more crabs.
That's true. How can I hold all these crabs?
What's up, guys?
You've got a giant dog, right?
Yeah, the giant dog sniffs you.
Yeah, your dog took a big old magical sheath, and we kind of need that back. So, where'd your dog put the sheath?
Yeah, your pupper did some crime.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, man.
Hey, I astral projected through a manticore and I saw your dog do it, so where's the sheath?
The dog might likely buried it somewhere before it came back to Ishmael, which means it's somewhere out there in the mud.
Oh, heck.
Is there a place where he commonly goes to bury anything?
Like 5 steps from the... And he's like trying to like give you like giants directions, which is absolutely useless to people of your size.
And you definitely didn't see him with this in his mouth at any point?
No, dude. He does what he wants. He's a very good doggo.
Could I use detect magic vision to, like, would I see the sheath? With, like, would it be all glowy and shit?
Right now, or just in general?
In general. Like, if it was buried, would I still see it?
It depends on the depth. Detect magic works through, I think, a couple feet of stuff.
Okay.
You might just want to slap those goggles on and just sort of go along with it and see.
I was about to say, let's go along the path and I'll just, magic vision it.
Now, is it assumed that we, since we've bonded with our stands, that we are cognitively aware that they've granted us powers?
So the way it works is basically you guys are soul buddies. You share like sensation and memory and feelings, like on an instinctual primal level. So I think on some level you do feel the same instincts if you want to tap into them.
Okay. So I would know then that I have that ability to detect metal up to a certain like length or range.
Yeah, I think you would know unconsciously, and I think it would be like the scene is like you guys are walking through this muddy field and like giants are running around. You try not to get stepped on, and maybe you just smell metal.
Like, that's strange.
You don't like consciously think on it like, oh, my soul is part rust monster. You just like smell metal, and you're like, huh.
So I think then Zoey could then, even if she isn't able to state it out loud because she doesn't understand all the logic behind it, she thinks that she could also help in trying to pick out where the sheath might be by using this ability to smell metal and essentially like detecting it, anything that would be down beneath them. That would kind of come off as strange.
Yeah, so, I mean, Theodora can use detect magic, and she's like looking around looking for like the glow of magic, and she doesn't see it. I just checked detect magic works through 3 foot of dirt, which might be a normal depth for a regular sized dog to bury something, but not a dire blink dog of this size. So you actually don't find anything, Theodora, out in this muddy field, but I think it is not 30 feet down, which is the length rust monsters can smell metal from. So Zoe actually does get the scent, and you want to roll survival to track this sword sheath by scent.
Oh my. All right.
A chef kiss of a sentence I'm very excited about. You just like start sniffing, you're like, I got this, guys.
I got a 10.
So 10 is average, which means average for a rust monster. Not for a half-elf, which is a much longer, more drawn-out scene. You think you know the general area. There's just like a patch of like muddy ground that looks like people were sitting here. There's like a campfire that's out now. Maybe they were cooking over it or something.
Mhm.
And in the surrounding area, you smell metal. And you're pretty confident about that.
Guys, I think it might be down here.
I guess you'd better get to digging then.
What?
This is your quest, not mine.
I have such small hands.
Oh.
You just have to dig fast then.
Roland goes over to Trinity and fetches a shovel from the standard, military supplies that he would have on Trinity at any given time.
All right, everybody make dexterity saving throws.
Oh, heck.
Oh.
Remember, +4 to saving throws, because,
Oh, nice.
Paladin, 18.
14.
21.
Damn.
26.
Wow.
No, that's not what I should have plus there, is it? I'm sorry, this is... Let me try that again.
That's dexterity that you're essentially an honorary ninja.
I don't think you're just an honorary ninja. I think you're the patron deity of ninjas at that point.
So that's 20, not 21.
All right, so actually, Roland, can you give me another roll? Because disadvantage for reasons which will become clear very soon.
16.
All right, so 16, 20, 21, 14, and then here's one for Sylvia Bell, Shadarkai Witch,
No!
who also rolled with disadvantage. That's a 1.
Oh, no.
You pull out this shovel, Roland, and there is a enormous peal of thunder
Mm-hmm.
and a huge lightning bolt, which hits Sylvia like a freight train, and she goes flying.
Sylvia! I'm gonna go after her.
She takes 36 damage
Oh.
No!
and rolls smoking into the grass. She is, I'll remind everybody, covered in metal piercings, and the reason Roland also rolled with disadvantage is because he's wearing big, heavy metal armor, and he's carrying now a shovel.
I just rolled medicine.
17. So you run over to Sylvia, and she has like have you ever seen a scar from a lightning strike?
No.
It's like a spider web, like right across her shoulder and like neck. So she got blasted very badly, and she appears to be like on the edge of consciousness. And she has a scary mark on her now.
Roland's going to, of course, drop the shovel temporarily, and he's going to run over to Sylvia, kneel down by her, and cast... First thing he's going to do, lay on hands on her, and he'll, let's say 15 hit points on her just right off the bat.
All right, so you put your paladin hands on her, and magic flows into her, and she is not in any mortal danger anymore. So she still has the scar, and she looks like she's in pain, but you're not going to lose her.
Does she appear like she's under like a condition like she's deafened or otherwise kind of impaired like that because of the lightning strike?
She has like exhaustion in D&D terms. She's like
Right.
She's not a fighter, and she just got wrecked.
Oh yeah. So basically, yeah, this is basically more of a matter of like, okay, do I need to use lesser restoration on her to aid in her situation right now? If not,
From a mechanic standpoint, and I mean, Theodora rolled a 17, so I don't mind giving you this.
Yeah.
She is not in any further danger, so you don't need to take any action now. She's like crying, and her like face is like red and puffy, and she has a really crazy looking scar.
Mhm.
But she's also like laying on the ground in a mud puddle and being like, ow! So she can like talk and communicate and stuff, which is a good sign.
Is she at any further risk of getting zapped again?
That's a amazing thought, because overhead there's more thunder and more lightning, and the storm just keeps getting worse. But as low to the ground as she can possibly be is where she's at, so probably not. Which would mean the most conducive to lightning person is probably the one you need to worry about.
Oh, which is gonna be Roland, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is me thinking of a concept that I don't know if Zoe would be smart enough to realize if it will or will not work. My idea is to avoid the necessity of picking up this shovel of death, essentially. To try to excavate this earth, could I fire like magic missiles into it to essentially like blow holes down into the earth?
Oh my god.
So, I think logically, if we're both working on the same image of magic missile, it would not be it'd be like you shooting a machine gun at the ground. Like, sure, you'll tear it up, but it's not an effective digging method.
Can I have my ghost manticore dig for me?
I would like that very much.
Okay.
I was going to alternatively use the phantom claw talon thing to act as sort of a makeshift larger version of my hand to pick up and toss mud aside.
You guys can summon your spirit animals at will, and they can do like mundane and physical tasks without any kind of penalty or anything. So if you just want to like summon them up, and you can describe that if you want to give more detail to your guy, and then they can start digging for you. Yeah, if you stand by.
I'm gonna get my manticore to start digging, just generally digging in roughly the right location, and once that's going on, I turn to Roland and just go, "Hey, so metal, get it off."
Are you sure you can't phrase that in any way which is easier to take out of context?
Roland, this lightning is not to be messed with. Take off your clothes, Roland. Take them off.
You know I actually wear clothes under this armor, right? I can just take the outer metal parts off and not the rest of the clothes.
Take them off.
Less talky, more naked.
I take off the outer armor that he has on, which is on top of his clothes, but doesn't take his clothes off.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I just wanted to hear you say it.
The Veltari looks slightly disappointed, but is glad that you took off your metal.
Wait, she's slightly disappointed that he still has clothes on under the metal?
Yeah, she's looking forward to seeing some some abs.
Some elfie dad bod.
She wanted some dilf.
This is a phenomenal good show.
Once Roland has the armor off, and he's just basically in his clothes underneath, he's going to grab the shovel and just start digging to try to aid in the process, because, well, the shovel's not up in the air, it's in the ground. So
that seems like a really bad idea. That's still a metal shovel.
Roland's just going to say, "I've had worse than a little lightning."
Damn, son.
Okay, your funeral be it, Roland.
What are Theodora and Zoe doing?
I was just watching the naked exchange.
Zoe is probably going to summon Fatboy Slim so that it can start digging. And then I imagine she's probably, even though she has such small, tiny hands, she's going to be just digging into the ground with her hands as well, just so she can help in some way.
Okay, so 3 party members are digging, 1 is watching. Theodora, can you make me a perception check?
17.
That's pretty good. All right, so the storm is still fast and furious up there, and as the thunder booms and the lightning strikes all around you, you're keeping an eye on it, probably. Because right now it's kind of dark, right? Because this cloud is over the whole field. And so you can't see very far, but in one of the lightning strikes, it lights up the surrounding area, and you see, shambling towards you, a familiar figure.
Guys, we got zombies.
Zombie. You got 1.
Zombie. We have a single one zombie.
But it's one zombie moving directly towards you, and it's hard to see because of the dark cloud cover, but with every lightning strike, it is illuminated briefly, and it's like, 10 feet closer. And it's kind of spooky in that way, that you lose sight of it, and then it's closer, and then you see it.
I'm gonna go up to the zombie guys, because I feel like they're just gonna keep coming until I don't know. If somebody wants to follow me to, like, help me not get murdered, that'd be cool.
Sure.
Thank you, Zoe.
Yeah, these hands aren't good for digging.
Small people gotta stick together.
Small life. Hashtag.
All right, so Team Tall stays behind to dig. Team Short goes to meet the zombie.
Yeah. What'd that zombie do?
What that zombie do? Well, what do you two do? Because it's going to just keep getting closer to Theodora unless stopped. And then if you allow that to happen, then I'll tell you what happens next.
Yeah, I'm gonna, like, get within arm's reach of it, I guess.
I'm going to basically not cast, but I'm going to be, like, doing the prep work, I guess you would say, to cast a spell if I see it's, like, about to, like, lunge or something like that, but...
And I've got my little needle daggers out in hand, just in case.
So this zombie, which is a kind of elderly man in, once again, just like nice clothes, not like they're all wet, obviously, because he's trudging through a storm, but there's nothing outwardly like messed up about him. Kind of trudges over to Theodora, looking straight into your eyes, just walking with determination and straightforwardness. And when he reaches Theodora, he puts both of his hands on your shoulders, and he's taller than you, so he's looking down at you. And just staring into your eyes, and then it opens its mouth and says,
Okay.
yeah?
No, I was... When you said, and says, I stopped, but I was like, and opens his mouth to devour you on, like, an Attack on Titan. I was like, oh, see, you got us, Austin. We thought it was a friendly zombie.
And says, why?
Why? What?
And then it vomits the bloody water onto your face and in your eyes and mouth as you try to respond to it.
Arminius prestidigitation to get that shit off me.
You try, but a gallon's, like a body's worth of this liquid pours out of its mouth and onto your face, and you feel it squirm down your throat.
Help!
Okay, now I'm going to cast Gust on it.
The zombie?
Yeah, the zombie.
All right, so the zombie, which now looks desiccated, as if it died in the desert, does not offer any resistance. It doesn't try to plant its feet or do anything else. You blast it away, it flies backwards, hits the ground, and never moves again.
Oh no, it's in me.
Theodora, you taste blood.
Can I throw it up?
You can try. You feel it squirming like in your mouth and throat, and you also, because your mouth and nose are connected, it's like pouring out of your nose, basically trying to drown you in blood, you feel.
Dora, are you okay?
Blood! Gurgle.
Are you choking?
Uh-huh.
So does it look like she's choking?
Dora, you can describe your actions, and we'll guys play pantomime.
I'm, like, gurgling, and there's stuff coming out of my nose, so I'd like to think so, yeah.
Question. Austin, has the Heimlich maneuver been invented yet?
You can invent it now. This is lore. This is world building.
A sudden idea has come to Zoe.
I'm gonna give you danger hugs.
I don't know what staying alive is, but I know if I keep up chest compressions to its beat, you should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to essentially give her like a high, like kind of try to, help her clear the airway. Is that oh god, is that a strength check or a medicine?
Medicine.
Oh, phew. Okay. 13.
So you start squishing her abdomen, trying to squeeze out this wriggling water thing out of her body, like a tube of toothpaste. And some of it is forced out of her mouth and nose, but then it kind of just like wraps back around the top of her head. It's kind of like now she's wearing a space helmet bubble of bloody water, which just encompasses her whole head.
Are Team Tool at all aware of what's going on?
So once again, it's kind of dark over here because of the cloud cover, but every time there's a lightning flash, there's a chance that you guys could see this grim pantomime. So I guess perception checks to see if it catches your eye, because you're aware of it, so it's not like there's no chance. But 10, I'll say it's like a 12 DC.
12 DC, huh? Watch me roll an 11. Nope, I rolled a 14.
That's what I'm doing.
So 26.
Yeah, okay, we didn't really hit this. Veltari is the most perceptive creature to ever live.
Yeah, I have a +10 on perception.
She is preposterously perceptive.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, you guys both notice this. Dora is like waving her arms wildly, and Zoe's like punching her in the stomach.
Okay, so I'm aware of what's going on. I want to leave my manticore continuing to dig, and I'm gonna run over to Team Small.
Okay, so this is actually a good teachable moment, because as you try to run away, you find that you can't focus on it digging at the same time once you get like a couple arms lengths away, and you have to choose between continuing to dig and staying with it or dragging it along with you. There's a limit.
I'm gonna drag it along with me. I'm not gonna continue digging. I'm going to go help with this situation.
All right, so as you start running, the ghost like gets dragged away and then sucked back up into your body.
Okay. I'm gonna try casting Compulsion. Within 30 feet, for 1 minute, I can force creatures to that can hear me to make a wisdom saving throw. I guess my question is, can this goo hear me?
So you don't know that before you cast it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cast it and hope that the goo can hear me, because it has to be able to hear me when I do this.
All right, so this is going to be, it doesn't have any notable wisdom one way or another, so 15.
That is not enough.
Oh no. Veltari just came in there and started kicking asses and taking names.
So, can it hear me? I guess is the question, to see whether this does anything. So what I do is I tell the goo, go in that direction, get over there, goo, and if affected, the goo should use as much movement as possible to go in the direction I've told it.
All right, so do you want to spice this up? Like, this is your first, like, really cool spell moment, besides maybe the hypnotic pattern, but this feels, like, even more dramatic. Do you incorporate the guitar in any way? Because this works.
Okay, right, so I'm gonna pull the guitar out, and I'm gonna just point out as far away as possible from where we were digging, and I just start strumming along, trying to almost Pied Piper this goo into going that way. I'm just like, goo, get out, goo, get out, get out, goo, get out, goo.
The power of rock compels you, goo.
The power of rock does compel you. Hopefully you can hear my amazing rock styles as I just angrily strum and demand you get out.
Yes, so not only does this work, but lightning strikes behind you, and it's awesome. And then this apparently living bloody water about the volume of a person is compelled to leave Theodora alone. And it basically rips itself off her head, hits the ground, and it goes in the direction you point, but it also starts sinking into the ground.
Once it gets like to the ground and is off of Theodora, I want Zoe to start casting Ray of Frost on it.
Mm-hmm.
And start trying to essentially damage it as much, but also try to solidify it so it can't just, liquefy away.
Yeah, so that's a attack roll, right? And that's also a cantrip, so it's not wild magic?
Yes. 23 to attack. 23 to attack.
Yeah, so it hits the ground, it starts seeping in, and here's the thing about this. It's raining, so it's pouring, and the ground is like wet and muddy and gross, and you would lose it like almost immediately, but you shoot right where it hits, and you just start freezing everything, like the ground and the puddles and the rain. So you assume you get some of it. It's hard to tell though, because everything is basically just goo and water here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're trying to fight a puddle in a puddle, but yeah, I mean, you hit it. You hit the area where it lands. So
was there a spot that would be the ice or whatever would be kind of discolored from the rest of it, since this was bloody goo?
Yeah, that's really good. So you use your Ray of Frost, pew, and you hit the ground and it freezes over. And I think you're going to run over and you see like there's like streaks of blood in some of the frozen water, but not enough that you think it's the whole thing. You think you got some of it.
Okay.
The whole time this is going on, I'm still playing the guitar because I have to keep up concentration while dictating where the goo goes. So just, you are casting all of these freezes with just like a in the background.
So yeah, she's doing this in headbanging, basically, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm feeling it. I'm enjoying the backdrop. I'm just having a good old strum now.
It's a good metal show we're all getting to enjoy.
I quite like the fact there's also the manticore behind me. There's the lightning, the rain, the manticore. It's quite a good look.
So we have the cover to your metal album, the first one you have. The cover's already decided then.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm hacking a lot, like, and I'm gonna hug Veltari's leg.
Roland is going to depart from digging to move over to Dora and others, and he is going to use one of his spells. He's going to first cast Detect Poison and Disease, which allows him to sort of just sense the presence and location of any poisons, poisonous creatures, or diseases within 30 feet of himself.
Mm-hmm. You do not detect any poisons or diseases.
Okay, at all. All right.
So I think Zoe's going to try to isolate one of the parts that is discolored and she think belongs to the creature or the whatever it would be. And she's going to try to like break off that part. And I don't know how this would necessarily work if I just need to have Zoe constantly like occasionally casting Ray of Frost. She wants to kind of like preserve it right now so maybe we can figure out something with it later, but also don't want it to like kind of melt in her hands and then just go back to suffocating Dora.
Yeah, okay, so melts in your mouth, not in your hands.
Ah, phew. Ah, the Hershey method. I love it.
All right, so you take a bloody chunk of ice, and you won't need to maintain that. We'll say anytime it gets a little melty, you can blast it. Cantrips are free.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you got that. It's still, like, pouring. It's still raining cats and dogs, so...
I'm going to go back over to Dora then and just ask, are you okay?
No. Let's dig the thing and go home. I need to talk to Mr. Smooches.
Let's try to wrap up business here as quick as we can.
So there is a a relatively short limit on how long I can keep this goo at bay, considering it's about a minute or so before I have used up my only level 4 spell slots. So I'm gonna suggest, Dora, you're gonna want to get ready to go, because I can't keep this goo at bay forever.
Okay.
Like, we can dig this thing up, but you don't want to be around that goo when it starts trying to climb in your face again.
I guess I could take Sylvia home.
If you're gonna do that, you might want to make sure you shut yourself away until we can work out what to do with it.
Yeah, we'll go to her house.
And in that case, I'm gonna go back to helping Roland with digging via Manticore digs. Because I wouldn't dig by myself, obviously, but I'm alright with the Manticore doing so.
So you guys are all having this discussion and making these decisions, and then you turn back to the hole that you guys were digging.
Is it filled in again?
Nope, that might be actually better, because what you see is Claudia Rock, your guys' bounty hunting rival, standing in your guys' hole. She has one hand lifted up, using telekinesis to repel the rain, and the other she has a cigarette, which she's just smoking and like looking down into your guys' hole.
Claudia, get out of our hole!
That's not what you said last week.
Wow.
Hey, Lamau!
Sorry, Dora, I couldn't help it.
It's okay, but leave my hole. Look.
Yeah?
Leave it alone!
What are you guys doing out here?
Zoe's going to... probably... it's good. She's going to Misty Step over, like, try to rush back to the hole as quickly as she can.
Okay. Seems a bit unnecessary, but it's very Zoe.
Well, look, all right? We don't... The last time we met this person, she tried to essentially take our score, so Zoe's worried she's doing the same thing again. Like, they waited till we kind of did the hard legwork last time, and now she's worried they're going to do it again.
Yeah, she's definitely trying that. So you don't need to make any roll for Misty Step, but I guess Wild Magic, here we go.
7.
Again?
7.
Okay, so that was the gain a level one, which you did. I don't know if we talked about it this episode, but you absorbed that magic back in, and it refilled all your spell slots and gave you more, and you got a ability score improvement. So I replaced the 7, which is kind of like the jackpot, with another good one, which I guess you get now.
Sweet!
Which is you gain a proficiency.
Ooh.
So you suddenly get really good at something. What is it?
All right.
You just like jump 20 feet across the field and you're like, damn, trigonometry is cool.
Let me get back to you on that. There's a couple ideas I'm going to brew on.
So you pop right into Claudia Rock's personal space bubble. You're out of the rain, actually, because she's using telekinesis to repel it so she doesn't put out her cigarette. And she's like, oh, hi, hey, hi there, ho there.
Yeah, Zoe's not going to acknowledge her much. She's going to look down into the hole and try to make sure that her husband isn't down there burning his way through her matter really quickly to get to the weapon first.
So you can smell metal. You can't smell ooze. But here's what happens. So you look down into the hole and you don't see anything because they didn't finish digging it, but you do smell metal stronger. I'll say that much. You think it's down there.
Okay.
I don't know the history with this new person who's turned up, but I'm just gonna like very casually stroll over and just be like, "Hey, nice to meet you. Do you mind backing off our hole, please?"
God, I can't get enough of this hole talk, first of all.
It's fine. Look, there are times and places for you to be rooting around in my hole, but now is not the time. Do you mind backing off my hole for a second?
Dora, I like this one. You finally found a good friend.
Yeah, get out of our hole.
She says, "What are you doing out here? I've been following you all day."
What? Wait, what?
What is the score? What are you up to?
It was a special request. We're recovering a missing item. Why have you been following me?
Dora, we've talked about this.
It's nothing that would be, good for you. I would tell you.
Okay. Veltari, I think maybe if you want to drive your point home a little stronger, maybe roll persuasion.
Okay, so look, here's my deal. I'm not here for anything to do with you. I came here to look for Bumbershoot. This is a bit of a fool's errand. I'm around with this lot because they're going to take me back to Bumbershoots, but you know what? This lot, they're a bunch of bumbling idiots. Whatever they're here for isn't going to be of any use to you. Look, I mean this in the nicest possible way. You might just be better getting on with your day, because this lot, they're just going to cause chaos wherever they go. You might be best just leaving them to dig a hole. Because they're digging a hole. Just leave them to dig their hole. I'm sure you can think of better things to get on with your day. 6 on persuasion.
She says, well, if it's just a hole and it's not any use to me, then I guess you guys won't mind if we just take a peek. And as she says that, a kind of like geyser of green goo spurts up out of the cracks in your hole, and pulling along with it, the salamander sheath, which is a magical sheath for a sword. It's red and like it basically is like a hot rod of sheaths. It's like a bad 60s Camaro with like flame decals basically, but it's really gaudy and gauche, but it does not melt. And I mean, obviously we've already discussed Robin doesn't melt inorganic materials, but even if you did, magic items in D&D are pretty hardy. So it's like suspended inside of his goo as he comes up and takes effeminate runway elf form next to his wife. And he is now standing, and they're standing together in this kind of telekinetic anti-rain bubble, and the thing you guys are after is now in his abdomen.
How do I want to make this much worse than it needs to be?
Yeah.
Considering that my attempt to persuade them didn't work, I'm gonna look at the goo blob and attempt to use my Manticore's advantage on intimidation to attempt to intimidate this newly formed goo creature into giving us the sheath for the sword. So, you give me that sheath before I beat your head in.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, first roll is an 11, advantage. Second roll is 21.
Yeah, 21 definitely works. So the way I picture this is basically a giant ghostly manticore appears next to you and does like a terrifying roar. She has absolutely no context for your newfound abilities, and she definitely not only takes like a big scared step back, but trips in your hole and goes sprawling. Not only does that take out the anti-rain telekinetic barrier, which immediately begins to kind of dissolve isn't the right word. It starts messing up Robin's scene and starts splattering him all over the place. The sheath kind of like sinks to the bottom of him as he is like beaten down by the rain.
Oh,
You are kind of right in that zone. So actually, dexterity save Zoe. So in case you get splashed by Robin, because he is corrosive.
So I got an 11.
And Claudia rolled a 14. So you guys are both splashed. It was a 15, and you guys were both going to take, I think, 2d6 acid damage.
Do I roll that or you?
That's for Claudia. You can take 7 if you want to.
7 damage.
You guys both get burned on like your leg as Robin splashes you, as he basically gets reduced to kind of a puddle.
Son of a biscuit!
Claudia, are you okay?
Ow! Your hole is the worst. I've seen some bad holes in my time, but this is the worst hole.
I want to cast Gust at Robin and essentially try to blast the sheath through him.
Okay. Yeah. I have to make a strength saving throw?
Yes.
And this is a cantrip, right? So no wild magic?
Yep.
Okay, so he has no strength. First of all, he is boneless. He is a chicken McNugget. 12, that fails, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so when you gust Robin, you just...
Splatter him.
You missed him. You make him become mist, and he is scattered. This wouldn't kill an ooze, a goo, the creature in D&D terms, so it does not kill Robin. But you have majorly inconvenienced him, and you scatter him into the storm, basically.
I'm snatching up the sheath then.
And Claudia actually screams and goes running after the parts of her husband, which you have dispersed into a howling gale.
Oh my god, you guys!
But Zoe has the sheath. Yeah, Theodora, you were gonna walk Sylvia home, but now you've witnessed this.
I don't. Oh gosh, I don't think mending could bring him back.
No, mending is for small tears and stuff.
Yeah.
Look, don't lose any sleep over the fact this guy's just been misted. They came here explicitly to steal whatever you were after. They got what's coming to them.
They're my friends!
Yeah, well, they came here trying to steal what you came for, so they got what's coming to them. Let's take that sheath and go.
Guys, I can't just abandon them. You just blew him into the storm, and I understand why, but these are my dudes. I've been here a lot longer than you guys. You don't get it.
If they're your dudes, why did they try to steal from you?
We have a friendly rivalry!
Yes, and we friendly blasted them into mist, okay?
Oh gosh. I had blood in my mouth, and it was choking me, and now everything's a mess. Oh, this is the worst day ever.
Yeah, we need a name for the water blood that's been attacking you, because it would be confusing to keep calling it goo and ooze with Robin going around.
Yeah.
So let's just call it the stalker.
Okay.
Because it keeps coming after Theodora. Claudia has left the scene. She goes running off into the storm to try to telekinetically gather her husband.
Oh, fuck.
Zoe will walk up to Dora and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to inconvenience them, but I didn't want to fail the mission either.
I'm gonna pat her on the head and be like, it's okay, Zoe, I know. I'm not mad at you.
Thanks. Are you gonna stay behind to get Robin back together?
I don't think I can help. I think maybe it might be safer for me to visit them and apologize later and to take Sylvia home before I get stalked and she gets lightninged again.
If we're all agreed that we're not staying here, let's get away before they try and take that sheath again, because I'm done with today, and we have the thing, so let's go! Let's go!
Okay, let's go.
Zoe will hand the sheath to Rolen and say, here, Rolen, this will probably be safest with you.
Thank you, and while I appreciate you trying to step in and help, you might want to make a note about Gus doing that to Oozes with a future reference.
Yeah, it's also worth noting, because I'm absolutely sure it would get mentioned if I didn't say this now, but the reason the sheath didn't melt in Zoe's hand is, once again, because it's magic, and magic weapons take specific means to be destroyed in Dungeons & Dragons.
Mm-hmm. Rolen is going to take the sheath, going to stow it away accordingly on its person, while also kind of taking his armor, and he probably wouldn't want to risk Trinity's well-being despite it being a summoned horse, so he's going to get enough rope so he can just basically tie up the armor and just drag it behind him on the ground.
Oh, nice.
As he walks alongside Trinity with the others, so they can go back to Tarsus to make the delivery.
So you guys are going to take the sheath back to Tarsus, and Theodora, you're going to drop Sylvia off at her house?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like the end of this mission, basically. So why don't you all tell me how you kind of wind down and like spend, like, this is your ending montage, basically. We'll start with Theodora because that seems like the most clear kind of scene. But like, how do you picture this? How does your workday end?
I'm gonna take Sylvia home, and I'm gonna be like, Sylvia, are you okay?
I mean, this is a really cool scar, but it did hurt like the dickens. So win some, lose some.
That's fair. Is there anything I could do to help?
Do you have any chocolate?
I have crabs.
Are you under the impression that those are similar?
They're both food.
Okay, I guess you got me there.
Do you want to pet Perry Mason?
I very much do. Yes.
Okay, I want to summon Perry Mason so she can pet him.
Oh, I'm trying to think of a name for the cockatrice now. Do you want to pet Richard?
Yeah, I really want to pet Richard.
If you would like a sweet stand name, I'm thinking Stone Temple Pilot.
Fuck, that's so good. Mine was a dick joke, but yours was smart.
I got that dick joke way after you made it. I was like, why is that so funny? Is it just because it's a people name? Somebody send me to bed.
So, I guess are you just gonna spend the night at Sylvia's?
Yeah, I am now.
Sleepover?
Sleepover. I'm gonna use sending, cause we're gonna take a nap so I can get my spells back. I'm gonna use sending to send sending to home. Be like, hey, I'm sleeping over at Sylvia's. I'll be back tomorrow.
Who do you send it to?
I'm gonna send it to Rolen.
All right, so that's what happens with Theodora. So the rest of the team, you guys arrive at Tarsus, all soaking wet. Carrie's there attending bar. You see Noe. She's sitting at one of the tables, like reading a book or something. And I assume you, at least Roland's going to go upstairs to return the sheath. But if you guys want to add anything to the scene, feel free.
I think like as we're going through, Zoe will probably take Veltari around and kind of like point out people to her just to like fill her in on who they are. Like, that's Noe. That's my clone. I think she like came from my jealousy or something like that, but she's me, but without any of my downsides. And that's Carrie. She's a sweet bartender who doesn't card anybody.
Okay, this is okay. This place is more interesting than I gave it credit for. I'll give you that. And is there anything to do in town, or am I just stuck here entertaining myself for eternity?
As I've kind of found it, things sometimes kind of just happen to you, more or less, while you're here. It's a weird town, and it's getting weirder every day.
Okay. I as long as there's a bar, I guess I can live with waiting for things to happen to me, I suppose.
Oh yeah, and Carrie's super awesome.
I'm just gonna go over to the bar and just ask Carrie, like, hi, what's the strongest drink you have?
Hey girl, you looking for work here? She's like pulling out a bottle like right away. She doesn't even like wait for you to order, really.
Well, work? Maybe. I play music. If that's of interest, I can play music. That's a thing I can do. Is that of interest? I will play music for booze. I'm just gonna lay that out there. I'll play music for booze.
Does it kill or seduce? I can't think of what the boss would use regular music for, but
when I play music, it can definitely be used to seduce. If you know what I mean, hun. I sort of just stick my tongue out and wink at her.
she like laughs and she finishes pouring you the drink, and you see the bottle says Pit Fiend on it.
Oh, that this is gonna be fun.
Uh-huh. And she says, yeah, I mean, we might be able to use you. You got the look.
You haven't seen anything yet, and at this point, I summon up my Ghost Manticore and summon spikes upon myself.
Okay, so you guys are just immediately flexing. This is not going to be a secret. That's one tact.
No, I'm not going to make it a secret. I'm just going to flex my Manticore spike visuals. Just less to be like, hey, look, I have magic powers, and more to be like, see, I can be, I got the look.
That's very good. Zoey, do you do anything with Noe here while you're here?
Zoey would like to walk up to Noe.
Let's right now get rid of this confusing nomenclature, because you walk over to the character we've been calling Noe, and she actually tells you that she has picked a new name.
Oh?
Yeah, and as per your instructions before, if Zoey had the chance to do it over again and to take on a new identity and a new personality and so forth, she'd want something fancier. So you are now acquainted with your jealousy shard clone doppelganger, Claire Elise, with a hyphen. So it's Stella Rosa Magnificent with a hyphen, Claire Elise with a hyphen, and Zoey
Yes.
are the 3 Legrand sisters now.
That's a pretty sweet name, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I picked it myself.
Reading a good book?
She looks down at it and she's like, not sure if she should be like embarrassed or what, but it looks like it's like a beginner's guide to dark magic, but not like a legitimate one, not like one like an evil wizard would get to do necromancy. It's like something a goth would buy in middle school.
Is she decked out with the "Hey, I cast dark magic now" starter kit?
Yeah, she has black nail polish and a choker. But it's an affectation, right? She's not like your evil clone, right? She is your jealous, disgruntled teenager who doesn't want to have to listen to you, basically, is the vibe she's giving off. And she says, have you thought about my offer?
I've been considering it. It's been a little bit of a crazy day though. And her tail's gonna kind of like unconsciously swing back and forth a little bit.
Oh my god. While you're out there getting a tail, I learned all kinds of new spells. You're gonna have to really up your game if you want to keep up.
Oh yeah? Well, while I was out there gaining a tail, I also got stronger, and I got this sweet-ass rust monster friend. I'm gonna summon Fat Boy Slim.
Okay. Now this has gone from like a friendly one-upsmanship to an intense jealousy tantrum. And she says, oh yeah? Well, and she summons one giant fireball in one hand and just like a shit ton of like lightning in the other. And like she's very dangerously close to catching this building on fire.
Oh, I really want to escalate this more. Oh yeah? Well, 10 minutes ago, I just learned I'm great at playing the drums. I decided my proficiency now is in drums.
I'm going to come over with my drink now and be, you're great at playing the drums, you say?
Apparently!
Like Roland is upstairs talking to Paige, like, I sure hope they're not causing trouble downstairs.
Penny's like, who cares? You got it back. Here's some spell components. And she's like basically trying to cash you out. She's like, I got a pack of blood here for what's his face.
That bin might not be necessary for now, but thank you.
Don't care. She just pushes the pile of stuff towards you and just snatches the sheath out of your hand.
So why did you hire me in the first place for this? Was just because of my discussion with you the other day?
I mean, you asked. Now we know you can get stuff done. The boss needs stuff done.
Right. And I'm not saying this is enough, but would this be considered a path for me getting my arms and armor back?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Hold on to your shirt. You just got a foot in the door. Now you're trying to stick the whole leg in. Patience.
Fine. I'm pretty sure we'll see each other soon enough. Probably Tuesday.
Yeah, I got it marked down on the calendar every Tuesday.
Also, you might want to make sure to do a better job warding this room. A blink dog was the cause of your little annoyance here. So,
huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that your boss can handle doing something like that, right?
Yeah, of course. It's a pretty standard suite of bank security spells we could get going here. It just didn't seem necessary. Who would be stupid enough to steal from us?
The dog doesn't really know best. Even a magical teleporting one. Still just a dog at heart, I suppose.
Do you take care of it?
The dog or getting the item back? We just retrieved the item in question.
That's fine. We'll get it.
You might not want to do that. The dog's associated with the giants, and we wouldn't want to cause an uproar between the lilies and the giants in town. Might be best just to set up your own defenses and be on the lookout a little bit better.
Fine. It's above my pay grade anyway.
Right, that's what I figured.
Downstairs, Zoe, do you want to make a performance check to do a sweet drum solo in this quickly escalating game of one-upsmanship?
Is there a set of drums even nearby?
I have on my character sheet that I have a drum in my tools.
Yes!
Okay, is it like a tiny bongo?
I suppose it's a bongo with maybe a couple of other smaller bongos around it that you can do a sweet solo on.
just do a sweet Phil Collins drum fill. That's all we need here, okay?
Oh, all right. So it would be my performance check, then plus an additional proficiency since I have proficiency in drums now.
You could tell Chris is a min-maxer because he took drums.
26! I'm fucking in the air tonight, that shit!
But
This is too good. Hold on, let me think what... Because you've just raised the stakes again. So now Claire is going to respond.
I just picture like this cut back and forth between Rolen upstairs doing just this bit of business, and then downstairs just the stakes rising, and then at this moment Rolen is walking downstairs as well. Probably this happens.
While you're deciding what to do, can I join in Zoe's performance? Can I roll a performance check to join in?
I insist.
20 on performance.
Okay, so you guys just describe your concert you put on inside of Tarsus.
So, what are you doing? Zoe's doing a Phil Collins-esque drum solo. Am I right that that's where we're starting?
I think it starts off Phil Collins-esque, then of course naturally transitions to more like a Geddy Lee kind of thing.
Sure.
Okay, so I've still got all the big sort of spikes and the manticore out as pageantry, and I just kind of come and stand right behind you. You're still front and center of this performance, and I'm basically going to use as many abilities as I have to try and make your performance as good as possible. So I'm gonna use a thaumaturgy cantrip to make all the doors that are unlocked start flying open and shut. Cause some minor harmless ground tremors, and cause all of the flames in the room to start to brighten and dim and change colours through a spectrum of colours while you're performing. Well, I just sort of get out the guitar and start strumming along with you, I suppose.
Alright, so you guys basically put on a Guar concert in the middle of a bar. Claire stops summoning her fireball and stops doing lightning and stuff because you guys are just wrecking her display of power. And her facial expression goes from surprised and jealous and angry. And it's just like, it gets darker and darker as she watches this. And it's like apparent, if you're paying close attention to her, that this is not fun or funny to her anymore. And after she watches like, a good set, like a good distance into your set, she does a spell that you guys have seen once before on camera, and she just snaps her fingers very loudly, and suddenly all of you are falling sideways.
Ah!
Oh my.
Tables, chairs, bottles, glasses, all of your candles, everything in this room that was just going wild like the China in Beauty and the Beast because of your guys' party, just goes smashing into the wall. Roland, you're coming down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're hit with this too, and you just start falling sideways, and you all slam into the wall. And this happens to Carrie too, like everything, and there's just shattered glass goes everywhere, and like there's gonna be some damage.
I'm gonna look to Zoe and just sort of smirk and say, looks like someone can't handle that you are fucking good at the drums.
Roland's just gonna try to hold on as he's demonstrating an example of Lute ascending a stair sideways.
Okay, so strength saving throw, everybody, to anchor themselves if you want.
When Veltari kind of looks to Zoe, she's going to notice that Zoe doesn't actually look very happy. Like, she was like living it up during the performance, but now she has definitely a look of some measure of concern on it right now.
Mm.
And she's not going to try to like steel herself for the impact, but she is going to cast shield on herself, like putting like a protective bubble around her to try to like cushion the blow. But that is one of my spell slots, so I would need to make a wild magic roll.
Of course. All right.
Well, look, my strength is a -3, so I wasn't going to protect myself from this otherwise.
Okay.
2.
All right. All right. So first of all, did everyone make strength saving throws?
16 for me.
20 for me.
Roland, you just grab the banister and you just grit your teeth and you like don't even lift up. You're very cool. Veltari, you grab onto like a support beam, and actually Carrie goes flying by you if you want to grab onto her.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and grab onto her.
All right, with a 16, you grab her and now you're like holding her suspended above the wall because that's the way that things are oriented. And as all of the plates and glasses and bottles go slamming against it and creating like a pungy trap of shattered glass. Zoe, you're the only one who goes flying into it, but you shield yourself. How does the spell look to you?
It only lasts for essentially a moment, and then it's gone.
All right, so you and your protective bubble slam into all this broken glass, and you don't take any damage. But as the shield dissipates, because it only lasts for a moment, not only does it blink out of existence, but to everyone else in the room, so do you. Claire goes stomping out of the room behind a door and slams it. And with the slamming of the door, everything slides off the wall and onto the ground, and gravity is restored. So Carrie and Veltari like collapse onto the ground in each other's arms. And Zoe, you too, fall down and you like probably land on some broken glass on your butt. And you say,
Oh,
ow! And everyone hears it, but they don't see you.
Where are you at, little drummer chick?
right here. On the glass.
Hmm.
You look where the voice is coming from, and you see like a drop of blood where she like landed on some glass, but you don't see her.
So, I hate to tell you this. You're invisible.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's look on the positives. If you still want to play the drums, it's going to be a really nice, neat little trick now when the drums play themselves, I guess.
True. And no one has to see my monkey tail.
Hey, tails are great. Don't be dissing tails.
So the last thing that happens in this episode, as you guys sit amidst this kind of ruined bar, one of you invisible, one of you, I think maybe finishing your drink.
Did my drink survive the room reorienting itself?
You grabbed the beam with one hand, and then you grabbed Carrie with the other, so I guess you let it go, but I think you like go and get it out of out of the smashed rubble. You just find it. You're like, this stuff's too good to waste. You all are standing there, and you hear a voice, and it seems to come, it just like booms inside of this building. You can't even tell where it's coming from, and you just hear what Rolen and Zoe know is the voice of Lady Nim, who says, "What the fuck was that?"
That was the best rock show your venue has ever seen.
Theodora, you just take a little sleep?
Yeah, we're having a cuddly sleepover.
Oh, did you get Jim Jams?
Yes.
All right, roll for Jim Jams.
What'd I roll for that?
Whatever you want.
I'm just gonna roll a d20. Oh, I got a crit!
Oh, you're the best Jim Jams.
Crit on your pajama roll.
Yes!
Of course she crits at her pajama roll. Like, what else would she crit
I'm
on?
a fashionista.
As always, I'd like to thank Overclock Remix for our music, which includes arrangements of Acoustic Jam at the Lucifer Alpha, an arrangement of Biohazard from Snatcher, Mystic Chemicals, an arrangement of Mystic Cave and Chemical Plant Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog, Simply Be Grooved, an arrangement of Simple and Clean from Kingdom Hearts, and Poke Center, an arrangement of Pokemon Center from Pokemon. Executive producers for the month of May 2017 are Kirsten Haslinger, Extellaris, Joseph Timbrello, Jade, The Cult of Gorfanax, Irving Royale, Andrew Grothin, Paul Mullen, Finch DeYoung, Arjun de Koning, Luke Powers, Michael Goodell, Brent, Tarka, Melissa Nielsen, Shyness, Dennis Pancake Detlefsen, Riptor Stormwolf, Miko from Finland, Dennis Bangston, Josh Mosier, Indigo Van Dane, James Bevan, Allison Ansell, Sydney Marsing, Just a Jester, John Potts, Kevin Dobbins, Savard Akrasimova, Carl, Brady Warner, Kitty Foe, James Neely, Eugene T., Marissa Donaldson, Melanie Joe, Lana Seawolf, Toby Gleason Stack, Ruby Offer, Matthew Weber, Sarah Hanley, Melissa Booker, Cameron Abbas, Dylan, Gary Sayon, Anna Stuhlfarer, Sean, the host of Funk Dunk, Giorgio Renna, Harrison Andrew, Kevin Seidlow, Christopher Charlo, Jorit, Viger Arnston, Cody Jackson, August Rue, Athos, and Ingmar Gremmen. If you want to join this list, you can support the show at patreon.com/Austin Yorski, and you can also support Leon at patreon.com/RenegadeCut, and you can find Chris at patreon.com/Weekly Manga Recap. And you can find our new player, Laura Kate Dale, at patreon.com/Laura K. Buzz. There are other ways to support the show too, as you can find us on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and probably other places, and like, comment, and subscribe there. Your support helps make the show grow, and your enthusiasm helps to encourage us to make bad decisions.